full-on U-turn and talk about some statistics, because I love statistics. Lee Sin top, 56% win rate, 16 games so far. Draven bot this season, also with a fairly high win rate, but that's because BRTT exists and he's like played 16 games and only lost one.
That's BRTT playing in the Brazilian competition, right? So it's basically just him smurfing on basically whatever he chooses to pick. And yeah, coincidentally, his best champion actually tends to win him many games. So yeah, stats might be skewed a little bit. Lee Sin top has been a pick in the past. I mean, has been a pick in the somewhat recent past, even in the LCK, where I remember, I think it was the top laner from KT, it was Vasco who played it and just destroyed some top players on it despite losing the game on it. And maybe this also goes towards Emperor this time, because he is a mechanically gifted player, but against Kiaya and his Graves, of course, not running into the easiest of matchups. And I wonder how it will play out. I'm kind of a doubter, I gotta say, but if he plays well on it and proves me wrong, I'm all up for it.
I think the biggest question mark to me is the fact that it is a Renata pairing with this Draven, and whenever I think of Draven, you always think of supports that can really match that aggression. You can all in maybe something like a Leona or even a Nautilus, but Renata usually wants to do the opposite, I feel.
Maybe will, but maybe actually, I mean, Renata's is really the classic enchanter, right? She has this handshake ability where you can knock someone aside, and Draven is the same with his stand aside ability. So you can maybe, if you had one of those, just push the enemy aside a little bit, just keep chunking him with these damages and chunk them into each other, which of course leads to the bonus damage on the handshake of the Renata. And this might just be a very deadly laning phase. And Draven, of course, if he would get an early kill, would definitely be prone to snowball. So I really wouldn't bite the Renata pick off too soon. But Caitlyn, Seraphine, also a very high range bot lane, very high sustain bot lane, should have very decent counterplay against it.
Well, either way, both sides want to be ending off the regular season with a bang. SBTC picking a Yasuo, a Lee Sin top, and for GAM the chance to do something that no other team in the VCS has done before, an undefeated regular split. And on top of that being an undefeated split, I think even more impressively, they've only dropped 2 individual games so far, one of which was to SBTC the last time these two teams faced, and the other one was to Saigon Buffalo.
It was, and I mean, they just now showed that they basically cannot lose games anymore. I mean, they were down a Cloud Soul, 9 kill deep was still not enough. And I also remember this one distinctive game against Turbos where they were down like a triple inhibitor, and also I think it was Infernal Soul or something. And even a team like Turbos, who is at least a tad better than SPTC, was failing to close out the game against them. And it is to some extent, of course, the other teams just failing, but to a lot of extent also GAM just defending well, playing well from behind. Speaking of that, Kati may be in trouble here.
Oh,
Thumbs
DNK
up.
just going to burst out cards. They give each other a thumbs up. They're saying hello to each other on the Rift, and I'm sure those two players will be seeing a whole bunch more of each other as well. Now, we did see a Yasuo earlier on today. It was actually P who was playing at full Saigon Buffalo, and it fell really bit far behind in the early stages of the game. But got to play on the top side, and it's Kiaya who's able to pick up the kill, narrowly surviving Emperor's Ignite.
Narrowly surviving. The triumph was probably needed to get that done, and I think Emperor kind of disrespected because they had information that Levi was actually around, I think, because I mean both junglers choosing to go towards the enemy red buff side of the jungle, so the map was basically something both teams were handshaking on, and Levi being there was not like the hardest thing to call, but Emperor still trying to go for the 1v1 play against Yaya, was almost getting it, but with of course Levi being around, it wasn't as easy to do as he would think it would be, and dying to it, triumph being used by Kiaya, and then he barely survives. First kill going over even to the Graves. You want to give the kills over to later if you are the jungler. You will see what happened again. Levi snarking around, doesn't even need the Dustbringer, but Emperor deliberately chooses to play this 1v2 and still dies. This is what triggers me.
I would just wonder if Emperor thought that maybe he couldn't get under his tower without dying, so I thought it was better to risk it to try to get a kill and at least have a 1-for-1 instead of a death for nothing, maybe.
I think if he gets one kill, he maybe even gets the other two, and he was seeing the 1v2 outplay in his eyes already. Maybe that's something he was going for. Like he gets one kill, the other one can't defend himself. Conquer was procced, he gets tribe on his own, and then it is just easy play for him. But usually, like good Lee Sin lane players should really know the limits of their damage output, and he apparently just now didn't, and was maybe also miscalculating when Kiaya was reloading his shotgun, and that was what ultimately was his demise. And you don't really want to feed the Graves. I mean, the pick will outscale you in the 1v1 eventually anyway, because the Lee Sin really banks on that kill push against those squishy champions. And the Graves, the longer the game goes, his damage output grows, his lifesteal grows, and also his tankiness grows as his passive gets used from the quick draw. And this doesn't make it easy for him at all.
Well, currently, the 1 kill over to the side of GAM. They've got a rather healthy lead in the mid lane in terms of CS as 2T goes in with the last breath. Kati flashes away. The wind wall will buy some time, but 2T wants to go in further. Scatter the weak comes through. 2T doesn't actually take any tower shots, really juggling on the end of that tower range. But Levi has the paranoia, and 2T will fall.
Yeah, 2T will fall, almost getting the solo kill. It's kind of the same thing that happened with the top laner just now with the mid lane, and them just playing into the enemy lane with Levi being close to it. Of course, this time at least Levi had to use his paranoia, didn't need to use the flash, and 2T nearly getting it. Used both summoners in this 1v1, and then Levi basically had to say thank you. However, thumbs up being called by DNK this time, and he was actually stealing the scuttle away from Levi, and this is at least a small win on the side of SE, but then it's the first small win they got this whole game.
I'm going to argue with you on that because DNK burned his flash to be able to steal that scuttle. So
you're saying not even that was a small win? Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Actually, the biggest win might be the CS difference in the bot lane, but if we see the CS difference in the mid lane, it's looking very dire for them. I think the first small win might actually be this mountain break they are picking up, as Levi had to go to base.
Ooh, Kiaya just solo bowlers Empa. He's getting his revenge for the opening game. He says, look, I'm the solo bowler master, Empa. I don't know who you think you are, but get on my level, scrub.
Yeah, and Empa didn't get the solo bowler in the first game. It was only forcing out the unstoppable force in the defensive manner from Kiaya, which of course feels like a solo bowler, and it's actually pretty detrimental, but not an actual solo bowler. So Kiaya must feel great about that one. Is also heavily leading in farm now. Is 2 kills up on Empa right now, and this Ignite Lee Sin losing lane is definitely not something that is promising for the side of SBTC. The only real win they got, as we mentioned earlier, was his first mountain break pickup. Herald is also something that is on the table very, very soon, so this might just be something they will fight over. But right now, definitely not looking good for them. Maybe Kati can be caught because he is down the summoner spells.
Well, 2T.
Levi's around.
Stack up the queue, gets a knock-up into the last breath. There's a 2-man knock-up. 2T will get 1 kill. The paranoia drop down. Levi gets 1 kill back. Flashes over the red pit wall, and it's a 1-for-1.
Very dangerous to fight. It's this Diana Yasuo combo, as we just now saw, and Kati is easily falling prey to that. But Levi actually played it pretty sick, using the paranoia just for the damage part and then flashing over immediately after he got the kill right there. And this makes it a 1-for-1. Still overall fine for the side of GAM, but SBTC showing their first signs of life, I would say. And this Yasuo definitely needs to get those kills because in this farm department, he's definitely struggling against the Syndra more than he should, being 20 CS down at 8 minutes. Not a good outlook for them. And these places, what I want to see more from SBTC because otherwise it will be a very quickly done deal.
Kiaya respecting, and Empa just goes in. There's a minion waving. Kiaya really wasn't expecting Empa to take that resonating strike.
Definitely wasn't. Now Levi started the Herald, and DNK going for the lane gank, or for the gank in general, while Levi is sneaking the Herald. Kiaya might be in trouble, but Levi could join again if he stops the Herald.
Neither of these two have an ultimate available. It's the same for Levi and Kiaya, and this is a 2v2 because Levi has abandoned the Rift Herald and is making his way up. Shroud of Darkness looking for Empa low. Scatter the weak, locks them both down in place, and it's 2 kills for GAM.
And just Kati with the bomb different there, just being that quicker, just using Scatter on the weak. And unfortunately for SBTC, they were indeed weak as they got absolutely scattered by this play, both landing in the knockback in the stun path department and just being damaged so low. Kati, of course, could play it out pretty easily. There were no ultimates available for the side of DNK and Empa, and Diana without Moonfall cannot really play this skirmish as well. So 2 kills coming over. Hostile takeover landing from the side of Palat, but hostile takeover that far away from the turret, not really doing anything, and there was no follow-up coming, so GAM's bot lane is more than fine.
I'm going to be honest, that was one of the most useless Renata ults I have seen. It's not even Palet's first game on Renata, he's had 2 games before, so he can't even use the argument that he just wanted to see what the ultimate did.
Definitely, so here we see the top lane skirmish again. Kiaya and Levi deciding to fight this. Levi was stopping the Rift just for that, and we see in the scoreboard below that there are no ultimates available for the side of SBTC, and Ignite is there on the side of Empa, but that is not enough. You cannot really execute anyone there, and yeah, of course with Kati joining, it's a 3v2, easy to play for the side of GAM, and 2T in the meantime at least got, I think, 1 turret plating in the mid lane, so there's a little consolation prize coming out for the side of SC, but overall, GAM in firm control of this game, and we saw last game how they won the game from 9k down. Now they are 3k up at 10 minutes.
It's literally the reverse of game 1 But here's the thing. Okay, let's be honest. GAM are in the lead. GAM are an incredibly good team. But you can never count out a Yasuo when the Yasuo gets to 2 items. We saw it in the Burst Sky Saigon Buffalo series. As soon as P picked up 2 items on the Yasuo, all of a sudden the game looked a lot closer.
Definitely, and anything with Yasuo, right? I mean, we have seen 0-10 Yasuos, just at least letting one good ultimate. We joke about the 0-10 solo queue Yasuo power spike. There's Diana Yasuo combos possible. There's Lee Sin Yasuo combos possible. Even Draven and Renata have at least a small knockback, so there's a lot to ult from on the side of 2T, and he's also the one member who actually got a kill on their side. And also another thing we want to look out for is, of course, the Draven cash out that could happen. Draven, this in the family puppet doing very, very well, and if he gets a kill before he dies the first time, it can be very influential. But here's another skirmish.
Yeah, the Moonfall was denied by the Shroud of Darkness, and Levi will be able to get 1 kill. In comes the last breath, flashing over the wall, but 2T flashes in pursuit and will pull 1 kill back. It's a 1-for-1, and 2T gets sniped down by Palette. And it's Kiaya who gets the kill in the top lane. Kiaya with the solo kill onto Emperor.
Definitely so, and I think it was actually the Dustbringer from Levi that was at the end of the day sniping her out, or even just a Darksphere coming from Kati, because Kati ended up getting the kill. With the bell, it's hard to call because it is just a little bit delayed. What I want to highlight though is what we maybe see in the replay later on was a 2-man Encore ultimate coming out from B, so the Seraphine really doing dividends in this fight, getting great CC, so there wasn't really any return of fire for SBTC for a few seconds, where GAM could just fire onto him, and 2T did basically the best out of the bad situation in getting at least the kill on towards B. But other than that, that is again a winning skirmish for the side of GAM, and SE overall not really showing much in these fights. I still want to give them a little bit of hope here with Draven potentially getting a big cash out, because he hasn't died yet and he is very strongly farmed right now. But this of course is something that they need to set up properly, and I wonder if they are able to do so.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. That means Vinboys is going to be the next player to fall in this game. Although we'll have to wait and see if that does happen. Now, I want to see this 2-man Encore that you were talking about.
Yeah, here with Terrors getting charged down, they're ignoring it, but we are getting live.
Yeah, back to live. The Moonfall dropped down onto Style. B has nowhere to go, and he's just going to get clapped on. 4 members on top of him, and Kati can do absolutely nothing as Vinboys picks up a double kill.
Yeah, Winboss gets double kill. You said earlier he was the next one to fall because I apparently cast a Jinx in, but no, I didn't. It was actually the Draven cashing out hugely there with the double kill, but the play is not over.
Yeah, Paranoia dropped down, and 2T just gets blown up instantly. The Whirling Death, Levi able to sidestep it and avoids falling, but GAM able to pull 1 kill back. And I think overall that is 2 kills for 1 in favor of SBTC.
It's 2 for 1, but I think the Draven kill counts twice because the cash out is just that big on him. But the play is maybe still not over. Kali's still getting forward. It's just him flashing out apparently. And maybe we get to see the replay of the mid lane skirmish later on, but I think the replay might have been called off, which is kind of sad, and Raven getting the big catch is very, very huge. Levi, not with the Paranoia up, couldn't really go for anything more in the bot lane right now, but what he can go for is maybe this Infernal Drake, but Emperor also had something against that, so maybe not.
Dustbringer tags onto DNK, the Encore dropped down, DNK tries to jump onto B, but Levi will be able to pick up the kill.
He definitely will, and this might just now be the Drake, with Jungler being down. Emperor, however, diving very deeply. Gamzo can cut it out.
Now there is a TP flanker from Kiaya. This could turn the fight massively. Palette on the run. The smoke screen dropped down. Handshake buys enough time for Palette. Sonic Waver lands as Emperor goes in onto Style, but B is there as well. Dropping down the exhaust, which means Emperor just can't get enough damage down onto Style. The exhaust will end. Flashing, but the heal keeps Style alive. Into the red buff pit, but the red buff will slay Emperor. Down goes the Lee Sin, down goes the Levi as well, as Palette and Vinboys able to find a kill for SBTC on the back end of the fight.
And that was Levi just kind of trolling. I think he was starting off the Infernal Drake and just doing it on his own with basically no respect whatsoever to the enemy team, giving away a shutdown to the Draven, which is something you definitely do not want to do. But what I also like from GAM was, as the TPs become unleashed, it was Kiaya right now just using the TP on towards the wall to really chase off 2T, so he couldn't really join this fight. And the whole team basically bailing Style out without even them playing Renata and just preventing the Emperor on the Lee Sin just get the execute on towards him, with of course B just spamming heals on shields onto him, and the whole team trying to body block any potential Sonic wave coming out. And like this, of course, GAM's still advantageous of this play, but you really need to look out for Vinboys on this Raven. He got so many kills right now. He's on 3-0. He got Raven cash out bonus money, and he will likely be on 2 items already very, very soon. While look at Styles' inventory, it's not looking too bright for him.
Style not having completed his first item. But the thing is, I don't think Style cares too much because he looks over to his mid lane and he sees Carti with a 20 CS lead having completed that grind. He looks over to Kiaya 4-0, and I think Style is just happy to play the ADC damsel in distress this game.
Yeah, but really look at Win, boys. I mean, he really just now finished Essence FIFA. He's on 2 of 4 items, while Style is not even on the first one. This is definitely looking rough in the bot lane department. And yeah, Kati, of course, looked great, but he's in the corner of the Shadow Queen. It's not like the Snowball item. This is the most defensive mid lane item you could go. I think it's even arguably more defensive than the Everforce, probably, as you don't have that much offensive utility on your own. And this alone won't snowball you the game. However, of course, with Levi being quite fat, with Kiaya permanently winning the side lane against Amper, it's still, of course, a very much winning game for the side of GAM, and them, as we have shown earlier, show a lot of resilience in general. I think Style will be fine, but definitely we can hold our eyes out to Win, boys, and what he will do this game, and if he can hold onto his lead much longer, because last game he couldn't, this time on the Draven, maybe he can.
Let's not forget as well that Syndras have a lot of damage, and I feel that the Crown of the Shattered Queen, it just stops so much of that burst from DNK to T, even from Enper as well. And if it means that Carti's able to stay alive and be able to land the Scatter the Weak, then all of a sudden there is so much more setup for GAM in these fights. That being said, extra damage is always nice as SBTC, unsure if they want to contest the mid lane or contest the Rift Herald. As a result, they get neither. Paranoia is being used. Do GAM want to take the fight? Unspeakable Horror drop down onto DNK, but the Moonfall will be able to buy time.
Hostile takeover?
Oh, and he's exhausted and will fall. The hostile takeover gets beaten. Levi low, ace in the hole. Collateral damage not quite enough to get the kill onto Palette.
And GAM didn't have to take this fight, but they just wanted to have this fight. It was just Levi sneaking the Herald away and DNK kind of panicking, trying to still prevent at least him taking the eye, or maybe even going for a steal towards his Herald. And the Paranoia, of course, not really playing a favor for SBTC, and it really denied their vision in this fight. And a great encore yet again from B to really get those targets on the side of SE, just being charmed by him and not able to attack. While Style, of course, getting one kill, definitely playing in their favor. And of course, this whole play is something where GAM really broke the game open. Mid lane tier 1 turret is falling, which of course secures map control for them. Here we see the skirmish again, Paranoia coming out. Here, the Windfall already down to the E coming out from B, and here we will see the encore. Actually didn't hit anyone. I was really getting that wrong. Either way, the fight was still played out finally, but then the zoning encore, I would call it now. And GAM in this game now broke open all tier 1 turrets, and Kiaya, I think he can easily 1v1 2T. Maybe needs to care about the last breath, but no. Kiaya just kills him.
Last breath was on cooldown as well. It's coming off cooldown around about now. So, yeah, probably a bit of a mistake from Tutti to try to go for a 1v1 on what was a 4-0 Graves when he didn't even have his ultimate available. In fact, his Immortal Shield Bow was on cooldown as well, if I'm not mistaken, as we get a Paranoia in the mid lane. The focus is on to the Draven, and well, the bailout by some time, but Vimboys will be unable to get a kill, and it falls to the hands of Style.
And this was the first takedown on the Draven, so now his innovation stacks are getting chunked down quite a bit. And of course, maybe Renata's one of the better champions with Draven, because Draven went focused a lot, but here we see another skirmish.
DNK is very aggressive, really looking for Star. The hostile takeover drop down. They're all going to auto-attack each other, but the takeover ends by the time the stopwatch ends for DNK, and DNK will fall instantly after. Now the Rift Herald being dropped in the mid lane. Kiaya just looking to solo bolo on to Emper under the tower. Ace in the hole, tanked up by Palette. Actually doing a fair bit of damage onto the Renata as the mid lane in a tower will fall. Meanwhile, in the top lane, is able to get a kill. And GAM are showing SBTC how you do a dive under an inhibitor tower. Emper now going in onto Levi looking for the kill. Levi stays alive, and GAM continue to clean up.
And usually I would say something like GAM playing with their food, but this is not playing with their food, this is just feasting on their bones, basically. As you don't really have any fun right here, and GAM's absolutely destroying them in this mid-game. Get turret after turret, Herald Charge number 2 coming out. Of course, getting the first takedown on the win boys is very important, as the Draven would have been one of the remaining win conditions, and this is maybe what I wanted to highlight on earlier. Draven with Renata might make sense, because with the bailout, you usually want to hit one target that would be focused by the enemy team. Draven, of course, is one of those. And Draven, if he gets bailed out, actually has a pretty high chance to even get a return kill, and then would revive himself, so he would be strong. As I say that, just now casually DNK just falls to Kiaya again, gets collected. And this is just all but over for the side of SBTC. I said something similar maybe last game, but this time it's the favorite against the underdog. And GAM, we know they are quite brutal in closing out games like these.
This game is almost akin to if your mum's like making some chicken or something and you eat the chicken and then you want to have more chicken, but the rest of the chicken is being cooked, so you've got nothing to do except for like gnaw on the bones and like try to get some flavor off the chicken that you've already eaten. That's what GAM are doing. They're trying to like find little dregs of SBTC that they can murder. And now they look towards the Baron, but hey, the super big time chicken has respawned. It's been ovened up, it's cooked, it's ready to be eaten. But then they decide, you know what, we don't want to be eaten just yet. We're going to back away from the Baron and let GAM have it scot-free.
So is Baron like the next chicken, or are playoffs the next chicken? Because I think playoffs would be a great analogy here. Either way, Kati with the scare of the week.
Baron is the seasoning, and the seasoning is on the chicken, as the big-time chickens will fall. It's only Emperor and Vin Boys left standing. Kiaya on the hunt, searching for the kill onto Vin Boys. The Dustbringer will give Levi a bit of movement speed and ace in the hole, and Kiaya continues to chase. The adrenaline rush, the blood rush, not going to be enough to get Vin Boys out of the range of Kiaya's shotgun, as Levi picks up the Ocean Drake himself.
And this is Baron plus a full ace. Usually you think about maybe game-ending calls right now, but this is so early. The death timers are so low on the side of SBTC because they are just that far behind that GAM is already stopping them so quickly in this game with a 22-minute Baron coming out for them. No, not so bold for them, as SBTC actually got the first wave in this game, but this is basically just GAM. Yeah, they just keep pushing towards this SBTC lineup, and there's no way in for them back in this game. Paranoia from Levi just landing. It basically just was the result of Kati landing one pick with the scatter of the week, and then it was basically just a go button being pressed. You will see again what happened. Kati even flashes forward as a Syndra without even having vision there. That's how confident these guys really are. And then the follow-up basically is just concluded. Winboss can just try to kite away for some seconds, but Kiaya is even more mobile than him on the Grace, where he can just quick tour every few seconds, and it's just a huge chase down for the side of GAM. SBTC doesn't even bother to really fight back much, because they know they can't deal the damage to finish anyone off on the side of GAM if they don't land a catch. And like this, GAM is now up 25 kills to 5.
It is disgusting. GAM almost have as many kills in this game as they have the game wins this split. Which is kind of disgusting because, well, in case you didn't know, GAM have won a lot of games this split so far.
Yeah, well, 28 games they have won, I think, and I mean,
27 currently.
27. This is a 28th game if they win this game. Yes. Or should I say when they win this game? Because, I mean, let's be honest. It's a 14k gold lead. They can still throw it, right? I mean, we have seen something similar just now. Either way, tier 2 turret in the top lane being taken. Baron still remaining for 40 seconds. One more minion wave they can push out. If they get a good angle for a dive right now, I think the game is over in a single minute.
I don't even think they need a good angle. They just need to bring out their wallets and start slapping up SBTC. DNK, that's very aggressive. Holy macaronis! The damage from the collateral damage of Kiaya is insane.
Definitely is, and the bailout doesn't bail him out of anything right there. Push can still go on for the side of GAM. I think it won't be the end, but they can just easily take 2 inhibitors. Or if they fancy more, maybe just go for another pick and then just keep pressing. Because recalling is something that's really out of option. Tuti getting caught, I think he might die or at least go to base, and this might just be the last push already.
This may very well be the final push. The Paranoia drop down, Levi going under the fountain, is forced to flash out of it. Maybe a bit too aggressive from GAM. Don't throw the game right here. To be fair, you could get away with a couple of throws, but GAM will just siege onto the Nexus. The flash moonfall into a 2-man last breath, but 2T is exhausted. Try to get the kill onto B and will be able to do so, but will fall. Flashing forward, Kiaya gets the kill onto DNK. SBTC went for a last ditch play, but sadly for them, it is unsuccessful. GAM have a minion wave. They will be able to siege onto the final Nexus tower. Not a single team has been able to stand in GAM's way. 28 game wins and 2 losses. 14 series win and not a single series dropped. GAM Esports will head into the VCS Spring Split Final.